to Heisey. But kick-starting the news on a very sad note, a veteran television news anchor Bale Francis has died this morning at the Uganda Cancer Institute in Mulago. The man who made his name on the screens for decades breathed his last at Mulago, where he has been receiving treatment for cancer of the bladder. The information comes after he was reported stable last week with plans for a trip to India to undergo an operation. According to the reports, he was supposed to travel in May this year as UBC TV had set up a fund to raise money for his treatment. Bale Francis has been anchoring news for over 2 decades and has become a role model for many local TV news anchors. At the time of his death, Bale was a trainer for younger news anchors at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. We'll bring you the details of more on these in our subsequent bulletins. And may his soul rest in peace. Away from the death of the veteran news anchor, following the heavy spate of murder of prominent people, from the public servants to the business community and religious leaders in and around Kampala, Inspector General of Police Kale Kaihura has assured Ugandans of their security. This is said while addressing a meeting between the private sector members and police in Kampala on Wednesday afternoon, in which they demanded an assurance of security or being armed.
There is concern among many Ugandans over their security following what many termed as failure to protect people's lives from acts of terror. However, just a day after news of killing of Kampala prosecutor Joan Kagezi, fingers pointed at Uganda Police Force for taking security for granted. This, as Police Chief General Kale Kaihura says, it is the intention of terrorists to see that people lose trust in government.
Assuring the country that Uganda is safe and secure, in spite of what happened. And it is only hypocrisy of anybody to think that because we have had incidents of murder here, robbery there, that Uganda is secure.
Kaihura also assured the business community of their safety, despite challenges where several prominent businessmen have been murdered, with other cases failing to get evidence. The business community put the IGP to task over their security.
Where business people operate. The private sector advocates for unity of the business community to address public safety issues such as crime, social disorder, and more especially terrorism. We want to therefore pledge our commitment to work with the police and all other security organs to avert crime by first building our own and capacity to detect insecurity in the premises we operate, like banks, factories, schools, universities, hospitals, supermarkets, worship places, arcades, markets, and the like. The idea is
where staff education can be tracked within the organization. For example, we have what we call health and safety programs in every company. You go to track and know these are due for training, he hasn't done the training, so you can track it and ask whoever in charge that why has people not done the training, because this is safety. You go to know everything by the tap of the tab. Also in the fire department, we tell people to know the people I'm sending to rescue the people, are they competent enough to rescue the people? The level they have, can they be able to handle this particular group they're going to fight? So you'll be able to track and know that the group I have, 50% they're average, 2% they're the best. So you can be able to track and try to tell them how to do the training time and again. So safety will be on the top of the game.
Investment in security, whether in terms of time or in terms of resources, is part of investment in business, part of building your business.
When asked where all those guns being used by wrong hands come from, this is what he had to say.
But most of them, those who got, were stolen from either the police, the army, or private security organization. Thank God we haven't seen private firearms. In other words, firearms which people hold on license are being used in these crimes.
He also condemned the Human Rights Commission, whom he faults for interfering with police's investigation in incidences when a suspect is being held for more than 48 hours for fruitful outcome.
Technicalities must not defeat substantive justice. It's in the Constitution. But and yet, these criminals are using the other 48-hour rule to defeat justice. And we're keeping quiet. And then Kaigore is condemned. Nobody comes out and says, no, defend him. He's right. He's on the side of justice. Not against the technicality.
Since last year, over 10 businessmen and 5 Muslim clerics were murdered by use of guns, where offenders used motorcycles to flee, with investigations not providing convincing explanations. Zamzam Siraj, WBS News, Kampala.
Uganda is estimated to spend over 18.3 trillion shillings in the financial year 2015-2016, according to a budget draft presented to the Parliament 1st April 2015. The next financial year strategy budget priorities include infrastructure development in roads and energy, enhancing agricultural productivity, and human resource development.
Section 9 requires the Minister, upon approval of Cabinet, to submit to Parliament the National Budget Framework Paper for the next financial year by 31st December of the preceding financial year, as compared to the previous deadline of 1st April. Parliament's consideration and approval of the annual budget of government of the next financial year must be done by the 31st of May. So come 31st of May, we should have completed and passed the budget of each of this financial year, compared in the past when we did it by 30th October in the previous law. So these changes, come 1st July, the budget the execution will start. Because in the past when we passed the budget, before we passed the budget, between reading of the speech and the passing of the budget, we operated what we call vote on account. This time round, it will go straight to budget execution, because it will have been passed by 31st of May. So when they read the budget on 15th June, then the budget starts being operationalized by 1st of July.
News from elsewhere in the world. Masked gunmen have attacked a university in the town of Garissa in northeast Kenya, police said, as ongoing fire could be heard from the university premises. Witnesses said explosion and heavy gunfire rocking Garissa University College early